This is absolutely Essendon, our off-season ramblings, episode 3 of that series, the sequel to the sequel.
Well, it's like The Godfather, isn't it? Three great films, 3 great episodes.
Terminator.
Yeah, well, I think they went up to about 7.
They did.
Or Fast and Furious. They're up to about 12.
Rocky, still going.
Rocky, and Marvel, of course. I think they've done Iron Man 27 now. But we are in the kind of peak of the off-season ramblings, and I tell you, the off-season ramblings have really struck a chord with the footballing community, and in particular our loyal followers.
Have they?
And they're loving it. They're loving it. They're just chilling back, lighting up spliffs, doing whatever it takes, asking their wife to leave the home for the afternoon and maybe even longer.
Just so they can have some time for contemplation.
Well, to have it on, high frequency repeat. Might watch it again, might watch it in slow motion.
Right.
It's just been an incredible success story.
We do appreciate you hanging around at this time of the year.
I think our audience appreciates just the level of difficulty in actually pumping this out with zero news to talk about.
Yes,
I think
I'm glad. We appreciate that you appreciate.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Please hit the like button if this is in any way entertaining. If it's not, please hit the like button.
Yes, that's right.
So we can start to earn some cash out of this, because that's not rolling in as we expected it to.
All right, okay. Well, that's not their problem.
Because
they didn't ask you to do
this. Is a nice segue into our new sponsor, because if I'm to afford one of their products, we need this channel to start spiking at about 300,000 views.
That is. Well,
and
on that note, that's right. It has been a big week down at down at the.
Would you like to talk about that?
New sponsor, the Dutton Automotive. Is that what's going to go in the jumper? Dutton Automotive or Dutton
I think
Group?
just Dutton.
I think it's Dutton. We're just right.
I think it's just Dutton.
And
because otherwise it would be how wide.
Making way for Dutton. Sorry to see you go.
Amart. God bless them.
Probably not so sorry to see you go.
Where rickety furniture comes from. The rickety people.
Wobbly land.
Wobbles.
No, look, we obviously appreciated their support over the years, but I just felt on the jumper now, it's good to have prestige brands. That's all we're saying. Because, if you want to elevate your play, you want to elevate the spirit, I think that's what's required.
I mean, just the launch that they had during the week with Craig Votso. By the way, the first time I've ever heard him speak.
Right. What did you think?
I don't know. I mean, he was okay.
Yeah.
But, he did speak, which was great. And but they had the big plane, the DC-9 in the background, or whatever it was.
Yes.
And there was Ben Mackay was there.
He was
towering over everybody. And a few fancy cars, as opposed to when Amart came on.
Right.
And they went to...
It was Dyson just sitting on a two-seater.
Well, it was at a Red Rooster somewhere, I think. And, I mean, look, no disrespect to Amart, but, don't buy it for sitting on. Maybe for kindling.
Yes.
But now we have Dutton, and
we do.
I'm excited.
Welcome aboard.
So you would be a pretty frequent shopper down there, I'd imagine, Joe.
Look, I've been down there, but no, I've never loaded up. I never spent big. Never that big.
Are they an aggregate?
And I'm not a flashy guy.
No, you're not, are you?
Okay.
Well, certainly not to your, adoring audience out there. But now tell me, they're an aggregator of brands, of automotive vehicles. They're not a particular brand. They're not a Aston Martin or a... What exactly do they sell? Are we getting anything for this?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, no, because
they flog all brands.
So they're an aggregator. They're like a multi-brand car yard, like the one out on the Maroondah Highway.
Yes, you can get a Ferrari, you can get a Lamborghini, you can get an Aston Martin.
But wouldn't you just go to Aston Martin for that? Or Lamborghini?
I think it's the way that they curate.
Oh, okay. So there is
collection.
a point of difference. That's what I'm just trying to understand.
And there's a cafe there as well, mate.
In the off chance that I should one day be in the market,
right?
This is very useful information.
Right.
So, Dutton, please send the card to my address. We'll provide that in the comments. That is the king of all plugs.
We'll give you lots of plugs.
Yeah,
we'll be plugging away.
We can just do a show about Duttons if you want.
Will be.
I might get the gear stick.
Yeah, it'll be a long time till we pay that back.
Absolutely.
But yes, anyway, that is great news. Let's not forget the ladies, AFLW team. They were in their first final. A great achievement. Yeah. Unfortunately, went down.
Careful what you say there.
To the Cats.
They went down. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
No, they did go down.
Why do you have to make those choices?
No, because I'm a child. Right. Now,
you are the David Brent of this outfit.
I wouldn't say that. God, if only.
Okay, so they succumbed to the Cats by 3 goals, but nevertheless...
3 goals in an AFLW match. That's borderline thrashing.
10 goals in real money.
Don't be mean.
No.
It could have been wind blowing at one end of the ground or something.
Nevertheless, I do want to say, second year in the competition, great achievement. Fantastic. They gave us something to hang on to. Something to find joy in.
And you know what I think they've been really great at doing, the ladies' team, is bringing life back to Windy Hill.
Yes.
And, I went out for a couple of the games when they played at the great place, the spiritual home, and there was a real buzz out there.
Right.
In the Alan Hurd stand and the RS Reynolds stand. And I was most impressed with the crowd. Good numbers, plenty of people, lots of kids having fun. And I think the ladies have shown that they can be a force to be reckoned with going forward. So they were very unlucky. They almost got our first finals win since Adam was a boy.
But alas, our finals meme continues.
It does. And now we're just adding more paint to it because we now have a Facebook page for the girls.
Right. Someone set that up.
They're at day 5 of their drought. The boys are still, I think they're at 7,005. But look, there's always next year, and that's why we love the game. So well done, ladies.
Yes.
And also on that point, if I might just add, All Australian Blazers have been awarded to Bonnie Toogood and to the great Maddie Prespakis.
They have. Well done,
Congratulations
ladies.
to both. Yes. I'm surprised we didn't have more All-Australian winners, to be honest with you.
No, two's pretty good.
Georgia Nanscorn would have been feeling very, very unlucky, I would suspect.
Yes.
But definitely 2 new Blazers. Now, I think it's probably appropriate to ask, are they made by Sam & Co. down in Chapel Street?
Yes, my good friend. I heard during the week he's been given the gig to do the jackets for the ladies as well. Even though he just does menswear, but they've got him in because he just knows a good fit.
He is the Karl Lagerfeld of sporting blazers. And, the girls would probably need it just nipped in a little around the waist, just tightened up a bit there.
He does stock some Karl Lagerfeld too, if you're interested.
Oh, God. Yeah. You sure it's the French version? Or is
I don't know if it's a real...
No, I wouldn't think so. I think that's the Victoria Market version.
He'd be very offended by that accusation. No, it's the real.
We need to be careful. Because
it's the real deal. So, let's talk about the boys at training.
Yes, so this is...
Are they back from the desert?
Well, I'm glad you brought this up because, we were raving on last week about how we were at that sort of end of the point of the season where... Well, point of the off-season.
You said the dark side of the moon.
The dark side of the moon, exactly.
Where you lose contact with Houston.
Yeah, you're so far from the footy season and the past season's already become a remote thing. You're in that sort of hole, that abyss. And I'm happy to report that we've come around from the dark side of the moon and we can now see planet Earth. And that is... The boys are back, and the young players, the first to fourth year players have fronted up to training this week.
Oh, really? Why is it the first to fourth year?
I don't know. I really don't.
They just need to. They need to.
Is it? It's like a reward because if you're older, you don't have to go back to work so quick. I don't know. I honestly don't. But there were a few of the senior players there anyway. I think Dyson and Darth. were there. They didn't get the Arizona trip, so they were able to attend training.
Right. And didn't want to spend the money, maybe?
Maybe, because it was a self-funded trip to Arizona.
If that's true.
So I think those guys have finished in Arizona now and on their way to Ibiza.
Right.
So all the good work will be undone, no doubt. No, they're not. They're coming straight back, and they'll be back in training very, very soon.
Right. Okay. Well, that is exciting.
But they look good. They look good.
Well, the thing is, though, yes, and that's great, and they do.
Physically, I'm saying.
I stumbled across some topless Hawks players out at Waverley Park.
Right.
They look just as good.
Were you in the toilets at Waverley Park? What do you mean you stumbled upon
on the
topless
socials,
pictures?
mate, on the socials.
They're posting that stuff.
Yes, they are as well.
God.
I think all the clubs are in kind of propaganda mode.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Look at it. Look at us.
Which club?
2.3% body fat.
Which club's players have the best pecs? And that drives membership. So, my wife always just looks at me when I'm surfing the dark web,
right?
Looking at young men in tight tank tops,
right?
And just going, "Oh my God, he looks amazing!"
Right?
He looks incredible.
And does she sort of?
Well, she's alarmed, but then I explain, well, it's Nick Cox. No, well, that's probably not the best example to use, but she just doesn't understand us as we football fans do.
Right.
It's like, I mean, not to be in any way disrespectful to the players, but it's like horseflesh.
Right.
It's like a trainer. It's like Bart Cummings weighing up a 2-year-old gelding.
Yeah. So it's
geldings are the ones that had the snip, right?
Yeah, they are. They are. That's right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you think it's
here I'm falling down that hole.
Doesn't represent anything about your heterosexuality.
It doesn't mean anything to admire the male form in its finest glory. Nothing is wrong with that.
Right. Well, may I quote the great George Costanza when in that episode, I don't know which one, where Elaine said to him, there's nothing wrong with you thinking that you find a man attractive. And George says, it doesn't help.
Oh, gosh, doesn't it?
I've always agreed with that.
Well,
but anyway.
There you go. Look, there's no harm. I mean, what we are looking at is how prepared are these guys to take on the opposition next year.
Yes.
And in particular, guys like Zach Reed, Harrison Jones.
Sartis, I know you've been quietly impressed with Sartis.
Oh, geez, I tell you what, I think George Costanza might be wrong. But the truth of the matter is that these young guys, I guess if there's a question mark, is that they haven't been able to put on any size. And I would say they are starting to show some maturity in their physical shape, and that's great, because if we can get Harrison Jones, Zach Reed, these guys on the field,
he can do it a bit.
Who knows? We might have a very, very quick turnaround and see the team go up the ladder quite quickly. I wouldn't say top 4, but
top 8,
maybe
top 10. Okay, so let's talk about then next year, 2024. The fixture was released. And there's always a little bit of controversy. No one's ever totally happy with the fixture. I think the Dons scored a few interstate games. Is it 4 interstate games in the first 8 rounds?
Yeah.
You okay with that?
No.
Or are you going to have a whinge?
Well, I mean, it's onerous. It's like, 4 interstate matches. I mean, mostly you'd pay 5 or 6 in a season. We see 4 of them in the first 8 weeks. And the critical 8 weeks when you really want to get a good start. It's hard to come back from a lot of losses early in the season. So,
mate, it's good to get it out of the way, because last season, we're all pumped up.
Yeah,
and then it kind of ran into the sand.
Well, I mean,
so you know what? Get the hard work out of the way.
Well, that's true, and I think the flip side is you do have a clear run at the end of the season. So, and that is the case. I think we have quite a lot of games just in Melbourne for the end of the year. So, but look, I think all in all, it's probably a reasonable draw. Who knows? I mean, some teams will be stronger than they were last year. Some will be weaker. It's always a bit difficult to kind of say, is it a great draw? Is it a terrible draw? But, I think one of the points, or one of the highlights, if you can call it that, was we drew Port Adelaide in the gather round. So, come on. I mean, we get one of the 2 home teams. Yeah, tell me someone down at AFL House didn't plan that.
Maybe it will be the scene of our revenge.
You think so?
Well, I mean, we lost 2 close games to them in that game where Houston kicked after the siren. Hopefully, Ben Mackay will kick from 55 metres out.
Ben Mackay will kick the winning goal.
Well, I'm just trying to find the equivalent to Houston.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah.
An unlikely hero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe it will be Ben Mackay, but I'd rather he be stopping goals, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
But if he's winning the game off his own boot, then he's worth the $1.5 million.
Now, what I forgot to check though before we pressed record was if we got any Friday night games, but because that is the test of where we sit.
Oh, do we?
I don't know. Whether, It wouldn't be more than one or two, if that.
No, we're no longer a marquee club, are we?
Remember we used to have 8 or 9?
Oh, God.
Those were the days.
We were a high-rating television phenomenon at one stage. We were bigger than Survivor.
Yes.
And
if you're younger than 25,
still on air. Sorry.
Survivor.
Yes. I was watching it last night.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah,
you hang in there.
That guy, Jeff Probst.
Yeah.
Jeff Probst.
Is he still the same?
Well, he spent a lot of his life under that glaring tropical sun. And it hasn't really worked for him. Right. He looks like the crypt keeper now.
Oh, really?
Jeff Probst. Survivor's ready.
Really?
It's like half his face falls off. But no, he's definitely had some work done.
Yeah.
He looks like a pretty good version of Meg Ryan.
Right.
I would suggest.
Okay. I haven't seen it. I don't watch that.
Not that this has anything to do with the Essendon Football Club.
No.
But no harm in digressing for a moment.
Go to our TV review channel.
We work very hard to make this show, in some way entertaining. Have we already done that? We haven't, have we?
Not for a few weeks. That's it on the fixture. We didn't cover that.
Nothing more to talk on.
Our next upload will probably be on the draft.
It will be, yeah, for sure. The draft. Look,
yes. How was that looking?
We talked a little bit about Nate Caddy last week, thinking he could be available at around the time when we get our first crack at it, which is currently pick 9, but it might drift out a little. And then Felix piped in.
He did.
And just rained on the parade and said,
he did.
We're probably no chance. But he had a couple of decent
But thank you, Felix. Yeah, he did proffer a couple of names that would be on the radar.
Yeah,
but that's if Essendon hangs on to that number 9 pick.
Which
the word on the street is maybe not.
Maybe not, yeah. I think there's some talk about us perhaps trading that off for a couple of maybe second round picks. So one of the clubs mentioned was Melbourne potentially coming with an offer for our number 9.
Right.
Number 9. And
9.
So that's interesting because perhaps the team, they're probably thinking there's not a lot of value in the sort of early teens, so why don't we just get as many picks as possible, maybe another couple of second round picks. So we might go into the draft with 4 second round picks or something like that. I'm not sure how it will play out. Or we may just stay with pick 9 and just roll the dice on it.
Okay.
But that's going to be interesting. I think that's only a week or so away.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. So that's probably when we'll be back. Thank you again for watching.
I guess that's the end of the show, is it?
I think it is.
You are wrapping up. I feel like a hook being dragged off.
I am. Well, let's not run this into the stand.
No, that's a good time to say goodbye.
Like we do.
We do.
Yes. Thanks, as always,
so much,
for tuning in. We always really do appreciate it. Please comment below if we're talking nonsense.
Wow, there'll be a lot of comments.
Or otherwise. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks again. See you soon.
Au revoir.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.